Guys, there is a big game going on right now between Topps, Panini, and you guys, the sports card investors and collectors, and you guys are losing. Today, you are going to find out exactly why. Before we get too far into today's video, though, and I give you the reasons why you guys are losing the game against these big sports card manufacturers, I first want to shout out this person who commented on my last video here on YouTube. The name is Cobra KY8QC. Saying that cards newer than 1975 are a complete waste of time. This guy sells vintage, apparently makes between 8 and 12 million a month. Wow, that is unbelievable. I would absolutely love to do a YouTube video, so hopefully if you see this again, if you happen to see this video, please reach out to me. I would love to sit down with you and do an interview and talk to you about how it is even possible to make that much money every single month from buying and selling vintage cards. So please reach out to me. I would love to have a conversation about that. And let's get back to the real main reason for this video today. All right, let's back up a little bit. So a couple of weeks ago, Topps released the Bowman Chrome draft baseball cards that were featuring the Tom Brady chase card in the Montreal Expos jersey. I actually mentioned this card in my last video only because there was a one-of-one Superfractor auto of that card that was listed. I believe it was on Golden Auctions. And actually, Shady Ken Golden was actually running a promotion on those cards where if you send them to him, he will take care of them personally for you. Grade them for free, list them on Golden Auctions, get them sold for you. Anyway, somebody went ahead and bought that card for $158,000, I believe it was. And I said that that was a terrible buy and that value would not hold. I can't wait to see it sell again on the public market so that we can analyze what it actually sells for. But adding a new wrinkle into the story here, I went back and happened to be flipping through Facebook the other day and looking at some absolute nonsense on there when I came across a very interesting post. Apparently, the Tom Brady card that got all of this hype because it was in the Expos jersey and it was his card. He specially signed like the 12 out of 50, I believe it was, saying like if baseball doesn't work out, there's always football. So it was a very sought after card. There were bounties on it. It was like this crazy product with a lot of hype. So apparently the picture of Tom Brady is actually Darren Fletcher. Topps went ahead and photoshopped Tom Brady's face with his hat onto the body. So I'm going to show you guys a side-by-side image here so that you can see it. This was pulled from the interweb. You guys all have access to it, but I think this is absolutely hilarious. Obviously, another reason why chasing after these stupid cards in this market where they are just producing a bunch of ridiculous nonsense is crazy, and it's exactly why Topps and Panini are dunking on you guys that are spending a ton of money on wax and chasing these stupid cards that will never be worth anything in the future. I also want to talk about one more thing too, because I have mentioned recently about all of these like scams and things that are going on in the hobby too. So I'm going to show you another post here that was brought to you by Instagram. Victory Investments posted this saying that there is a missing 2022 Panini Prism Patrick Mahomes gold vinyl PSA 10. It's numbered 1 out of 5. It's missing from Cornwall, New York. Excuse me. It's missing or stolen. Guy posts on here with a little bit of a story saying, please keep your eyes peeled for this card. Serial numbered 1 out of 5. I purchased this from a collector in New York. He brought it to the post office at Cornwall, New York, and it disappeared there without ever moving on. Guys, I don't know about you, and I sometimes feel bad for these guys that don't get the card that they purchased, obviously, but there is almost 0% chance. You'd have to be very, very naive to believe that this person that you bought the card from actually paid for the packaging, the postage, the insurance, and took this directly to the post office and dropped it off in person, and then it never got scanned or received into the system. I don't know what the value of this card is. I'm guessing it's a couple $1,000. It's a PSA 10. It's Mahomes. It's a gold vinyl. It's 1 out of 5. I have to imagine that if you're actually doing a legitimate deal, that the person that walks into the post office with this card is going to drop it off at the counter, have them scan it on the spot, and have them give you a receipt. It's something that my post office has done for me like 100 times. It's very, very easy to do. I can't imagine that this card would not get scanned into the system and never like move within the USPS system here. So just be very, very careful if you're buying and selling cards online with people, that you're working with reputable people with good intentions and good reputations. I don't know what to say here. I mean, I don't know if I'm the buyer. Hopefully they paid with like a goods and services type of feature through PayPal where they can try to get their money back. Hopefully they can provide some other kind of details, maybe a receipt showing that it hasn't moved. It is possible though for the seller to Photoshop or create some kind of fictitious receipt to send to the buyer. So you just have to be really, really careful with this stuff. It's one reason why I've tried to stay away from. I've bought a couple of cards through Facebook groups that were over $1,000. But again, I was very hesitant to do so. Wanted to make sure I had recourse. Always paid with like a goods and services feature where if I didn't receive my product, I could try to get my money back. But it's never a guarantee. Hopefully they went that route. You hate to see these situations evolving, but this is why I typically try to buy bigger cards. If you're buying something that's $1,000 plus, try to find it locally if you can. If these people also were both in New York, I'm assuming that they weren't, but if they were both in New York, I would maybe try to meet up also. You know, if somebody's an hour or two away, it might be worth a drive to at least meet in the middle or head over to them to buy these cards that have a little bit higher value, just so that you are cutting down on the risk of being scammed. Things like these, though, keep popping up all the time. Now, again, if this card truly is missing or stolen, I feel bad for the buyer. Please, guys, keep your eyes out for this card, and if you see anything, maybe try to get a hold of this person on Instagram. But try to do the very best that you can to protect yourself, because it is a very, very shady market right now. All right, guys, that'll do it for today. I will catch you next time. And this is just a short, sweet video, but a couple things I wanted to talk about. Make sure as a sports card collector and investor, you are not the one getting owned and dunked on by Topps and Panini, and I will see you later.